Okay, great. How's everyone? I hope we're getting ready for the session. Tonight's going to be quite a unique night. I'm going to look at a topic that really excites me myself as well because it really has a lot to do with Make Life's journey from when we got started in 2018. And I feel the lessons that I've been privileged to learn through time will be able to help someone here be able to reach that level of building your path to your financial freedom, as well as just building this independent business. And I'm going to share some key things. So I'm going to say, like I normally do, make sure you have got your paper ready, your pen ready. If you're using a gadget, just make sure you're able to capture some of the things I'm going to talk about.
When bring the book
And I'm
that was
going
in
to
the system from
definitely have um,
depends on
this
from like this.
shared. Okay, so yes, we are live and recording. So I'm going to just ask also that everyone make sure that the microphones are muted so that we don't disturb the flow of the session, even as we get to learn. So let's just wait. I think just in the next, we start by 2035. So whilst we're doing that, it's great to see Benjamin Ushabati. It's great to see Mr. Emmanuel Muvanga as well. It's great to see a lot of people here. I'd just like to get some expectations from people before we get started. What are you hoping to learn tonight in this session? I can listen from two people, then we can be able to move on. So you can either unmute yourself right now and be able to tell us what you're expecting to learn tonight. Introduce yourself and just tell us, I'm this person. I expect to learn this tonight, and we'll be able to follow. No one is coming up. Okay. I wish I. Nason is okay. It's great to see you, Nason, coming in. Okay, awesome. Since no one is talking, I don't know if we're shy. Um, I'm just going to go on and get started. Okay, Mark has raised his hand, so let's get to hear Mark. Mark, what are your expectations?
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all good. So my expectations are to know what roadblocks to look out for when you're moving your business from a startup level to a maturity level. I've noticed that most people, they have got this idea of the startup level and how to start it up, but they tend to encounter roadblocks along the way. So what what are some of the things to look out for? Yeah, so those are my expectations to be aware of that.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mark. Being aware of the roadblocks, and it's really, really important that you get to say that as well. Tonight we are having our first session as Idea Capital Development Entrepreneurs, and we're excited, and it's great to see a lot of people that are part of the Varsity Managers, and we are happy to have you. You can see Mark there. I can see Emmanuel. I can see Musa from Unilas. I can see Natasha. I can see a number of you that are part of the program that we are building. It's great to just see you. Thank you. You can see Catherine logging in. Awesome. So great expectations, everyone. So we're going to get started. It's great to see Mondoka. I'm Mondoka from Entrepreneurs, SK CEO. Great to see you. I don't know who iPhone is. Um, okay. I hope you can rename yourself so we can be able to get to know you as we go. So let's get started tonight. So we're looking at moving your business from startup level to maturity level. Okay, moving your business from startup level to maturity level. So I'm going to be sharing this from my perspective as well as perspectives that I've been able to encounter with different clients. So two dimensions here. I happen to be the CEO of Make Life International, and we've been able to grow over the years, and I'll be sharing some of that in our story. But at the same time, Make Life International is a management consultancy firm. So we work with different companies. We've had the opportunity and the privilege to be able to see different clients be able to scale and do better. And some of those clients include people like Aqua and Sun Care that have actually seen a huge growth in this particular COVID season, and I'm excited for them. So I'm going to share that, and I look forward to you being able to learn something that's going to be valuable. And and I promise you, this session is going to be worth your time. I'm going to share some things at the end that are really going to help you a great deal. It's great to see Natasha logging in. So now let me just get started. So the first thing that I want to be able to share is, what are we looking to gain tonight? So for this particular session, all participants are to adopt the financial freedom mindset and gain wisdom to build a fully independent business. All right. So all participants are to adopt the financial freedom mindset and gain wisdom to build a fully independent business. If we can get to this place tonight, I'm going to be very excited. If you can be able to have this mindset, because you see, it's a mindset. There's a saying that I love. It says that people will find every expedient excuse to not think. It's so funny that many of the times as people, we're always looking for reasons not to think, for reasons not to really change the way we think, because we've built this comfort zone within our mindsets, this particular frame that's consistently keeping us chained and bound. I wish I was able to share a meme I saw today. It actually spoke some serious wisdom. So there's this man who's in a prison cell, okay, and outside the cell there's a plate with food on it, and on the just right next to it there are keys, and the man has a stick and is trying to reach out for the plate with food and not reach out for the keys. And as funny as the drawing was, it kind of spoke to me some serious relevance in that message, that at times we are prisoners because our mindsets are not being shifted. And that's something I'm going to deal with when we get started. It's pretty much the mindset. Then I'm going to look at something key. If you're an entrepreneur or you're a professional and you want to see the company that you're involved with move from a place of being a startup to a place of maturity, I'm going to share with you five stages on how to do that. And I promise you, if you put these stages into effect, you are going to see this working for you. Okay, and I've seen this work, and right now Make Life is at stage 4 and we are racing into stage 5. But I said I'm going to share this because I believe as a consultant, sometimes all you need to do is move someone from point A to point B. And right now, if we're looking at point A being stage 1, and we're looking at point B being stage 2, we probably are at stage D. So are we ready to get started? If you're ready, just go ahead and type in the box, yes, I want to get this mindset. You can go ahead and type mindset. You can type yes in the chat box. Let me see some engagement from you. Are you ready to get this mindset and to learn 5 stages to building your fully independent business? It's great to see a yes in the chat box from Emmanuel. Yes from Hendrix. Thank you. Yes. Mindset. Audrey. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Musa. Goz. Great. I see people are excited. Aaron says yes. Awesome. Mark. Yes. Thank you guys. Thank you so much, Nathan. Awesome. We are ready to get this moving. So let me just now move to the next slide and we can pick from there. So why should we learn about financial freedom? This is $1 million question tonight. Why should we learn about it? Why is this topic very important? And I'm sure most of us joining me tonight, this is not the first time that you've heard about financial freedom. And probably you're thinking you're going to hear the same things that you've heard. And I'm not sure what you've heard, but I'm going to promise you, I'm going to share with you things that I know will help you. And I don't want to waste your time in this. I'm going to go in the first 2 things immediately. Here are 2 reasons, and I want you to take note of that. The first reason is that a lot of what we know about money is wrong. I'll say that again. A lot of what we know about money is wrong. That's one of the reasons we should be able to learn about financial freedom today. You see, we are taught to think about money in our traditional setups as something that's difficult to get. We are taught about money that money is something that we should work for with our time. And this particular knowledge that we've gained about money over time has really disturbed us. Sometimes we actually think money is only for people that are in developed countries. I remember one day I was asked to say, why is it that Bill Gates is rich and I'm in Zambia and I can't make money? And I was actually answering the question and said, no, he's in a better situation, he's in a better country, it's a better economy. Well, all the things I've said right now are true. He is in a better economy and everything. But that by no means does that qualify the reason that I cannot make it as successful. And I'm going to share a few things on that. The second reason is that there's no need to reinvent a working formula. It's simple as that. And this is something I must tell you tonight. The things I'm telling you are not these things that are brand new, they've never been shared before. I'll guarantee you, somewhere in the world, someone has shared this before. If anyone tells you that there's a formula to success, there's a formula to the top, and they tell you it's completely brand new, you must ask yourself and put a question mark. Because if people have been at the top, it means the formulas are known, the recipes are known. There's no need to reinvent things that are working. We only need to discover them. And I'm telling you, I've discovered these particular things to work, and I want to share this tonight. So these are the reasons why we should be talking about financial freedom. The formulas to financial freedom already exist, and we just need to discover them. If you've read the scriptures, the Bible says that there's a man who found a treasure in a land. He went to sell all that he had and went to buy that land. And the reason he did that was because he saw value in the land. That place was there, the treasure was there for a long time. And what that means is that there are places that already have the treasure, but few find them. And if you're privileged to be in a meeting, in a situation where you can actually find them, then you have an opportunity to have your life transformed. When I posted on Facebook, I mentioned something that I believe lives change in moments. It just takes one moment, one defining moment to cause you to have a change in your life, to cause you to have a transformation in the way you perceive things. And with those two things noted, with us having to know about money the right way, I'm going to share with you in the next slide some key things about how we should think about money. Then the next part of this particular sharing is what I'm going to do with the stages, and that's the formula that works. So the first thing, and before I go deeper in this, is that you need to know about building your personal wealth plan. Many of the times that when we're talking about business and financial freedom, we're always thinking about how to build my business. How can my business become profitable? But we forget to think about our own personal wealth plan. Your business has a business plan, but let me tell you this, do you have a wealth plan? Let me ask you that question tonight. Do you have a wealth plan? You as Mapalo, do you have a wealth plan? You've been doing your business plan, but do you have a personal wealth plan? So it's not enough to plan for your business financial plan. You must have a personal wealth plan. Wealth won't happen to you by accident. You must plan to get wealthy. You must ask yourself to say that by 2040, how much should my net worth be? And if you've never come across the concept of net worth, what net worth is, in simple terms, is this is the sum total of your assets, okay, that speak into your value. So whether it's stock, whether it's intellectual property, which are intangible assets, whether it's shares in a company, I happen to own quite some number of shares in Make Life. And whether that's the case, when you have a sum total of that value, that's your net worth. So how much are you worth today? You should be able to ask yourself that. If you've authored a book, if you've got a product that you've been able to put out there, you'll be able to try to value that and know how much you're worth tonight. That's one assignment I'm giving you. Find out how much am I worth tonight. Know that. Know your net worth. Then make a plan to say, by 2021, what should I have become? Well, how should I have raised my net worth? Have a personal wealth plan. It's very important because wealth won't happen to you by accident. I hope that's clear. That's an assignment I want you to be able to take up. Do it for you, okay? Do this for you. It's important that you ask yourself that question. Do you have a wealth plan? By 2025, where will you be next? I have proposed in my heart that I won't celebrate my birthday if I'm not better than I was the previous birthday. That's me. So if I'm not doing better in my next birthday, I won't celebrate it. So because I love birthdays, I actually remember once I threw a party for myself, eh? And I did this because I enjoy birthdays. I believe that beautiful thing, blessed are the day you are born and whatnot. And I believe it's a beautiful thing. And I want to celebrate it. So I have challenged myself. I give myself a 1 year clock to say, I must do more. And I have consistently built on that. 2018, I had my first book, Idea Capital Development, produced. We launched it at UNZA. We had some great people come in. The deputy vice chancellor was there. We had people that are in different industries come to speak at it. And that was 2018. 2019, I proposed I must do more. I must scale more. And I went for 5 books to be released. I did that. And in the very same year, I targeted to build more assets and inventory. I got 5 games. I'm a proud owner of 5 mobile app games, and I love them. I'm learning them. I'm growing them. I'm understanding how they work. I'm understanding how AdMob works because I have made a personal wealth plan. Tonight, if I take an assessment of my net worth, I may smile and say, okay, I'm not doing that bad. And if I was to take everything I own tonight and be able to liquidate it and be able to sell it on the market, I know I'll get so much value for what I own tonight. So this is not from, I'm not saying this in a braggadocious way. Braggadocious is where you put people down. I'm saying this to put you up because I believe you can do it. You have a wealth plan. Perhaps some of you are even doing way better, but I want to just inculcate this mindset. You must have your personal wealth plan. Plan for yourself, plan for your business. With that said, let me talk about some money problems and how we should think about it. So these are what I call the 5 wealth mindset shifts. There's a book of mine that I've written and I share a whole lot more, but I want these particular 5 things because they're important. The first thing is security focus versus freedom focus. I'll say that again. Security focus versus freedom focus. Remember, for us to be able to get in the good, we have to get out the bad. And we've been taught wrong things about money. We've been taught security, and this is why we want to depend on jobs. The safety of you being in a job that pays you every month. It's just something that we've been trained. We've been trained to grow up, go to school, get a job, work for the government. And today it's even dangerous, to actually be working for a private company at times because they say if it's not the government, sin chito. I remember having a certain laugh with a friend of mine because they were telling them that if if the man in your life doesn't work for the government, usakamulete konyumba. That's Mbemba saying, don't bring him home, and that made me laugh. But it's as real as that. The mindset is that if you do not have security, then you're not doing well with money. But then there's a reverse side to this. And for me, I say this is a positive thing. The freedom focus. If you ask yourself, why would you have money in your life? Probably it's because you want certain freedoms. It could be because you want the freedom to be able to bless people as you want. You feel bad when you see people that have a need and you can't meet that need. And that's a freedom you want. But the proof that you're not free is that when you see your heart hurt against that, you can't do anything about that. Why? Because you are bound. You can't stretch your hand to give. Sometimes you may want the freedom to go out and travel. You admire going out there. You admire vacations. You've thought of Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and whatnot. This year I was actually planning to go to Dubai. We had it set for a schedule, but with COVID-19, I think those plans will have to move to next year because we've literally had to remodel a lot of things, and that's a more strategic plan. But I'm a person who's got a futuristic plan to make travel. And those are freedoms that you might have as well. You have a freedom that you desire to have your own house. But you cannot get that freedom if your mindset is set on security instead of freedom. And let me just caution you something here because of this very important thing. One of the things is that you always should start out with a need to be having a freedom mindset. And when you have that freedom mindset, something that should be key is that when you attain freedom, don't forget why you started in the first place. I work hard, I'm diligent, but I'm not a workaholic. I've refused to become a workaholic because the last thing that you want is to work all your life and forget why you wanted freedom in the first place. So there's security and there's freedom. So you need to be able to tell yourself, let me give you this example. A plane is in a runway. Where it is, it seems comfortable, but a plane is meant to fly, okay? And the plane has to come out of its comfort zone, of its secure zone, because on the ground, a plane can't crash. So, but if it's on the ground, it is not living up to its full potential. But the plane has to get on the runway, start moving, and then it has to start flying. Do not be a plane that lives their life on the ground. I'm going to say that again. Do not be a plane that lives their life on the ground. You are meant for the skies. Therefore, you must start moving. You must start running on that runway. You must fly. Because though you're in your comfort zone, you are not flying. Begin to fly. Have that mindset. I must have freedom. You can go ahead and chat, put in the chat box, I must have freedom. I will have my freedom. Go ahead and do that as we keep progressing. Thank you so much, Tasha. Tasha says, word, great. Seeing some comments in the chat box. I must have freedom from Emmanuel. Thank you so much. Great. So we want this freedom. Can have them come in. So the second thing is saving versus investing. We've been taught for the most part, and I want you to take clear note of this because I'm going to really draw the line for us here. We've been taught to save more than we invest. Save more than we invest. Now, I don't have anything wrong with saving. Let me start with saying that saving is very important. If anything, for you to start investing, you need to be able to pay yourself first. If you read The Richest Man in Babylon, this is clearly illustrated. If you haven't, go read that book. It's a beautiful book. It's going to put you in the right perspective around money. For the most part, we have been drawn to say we must save. Many people, when they think about financial freedom, they think they must get a 24/7 job, work all their life saving up, and have the government saving up their pensions. And at the end of the day, retire, build a house, and sit back. The book is The Richest Man in Babylon. Someone who's asking the chat book. Okay, it's a very great book. If anything, you can just get to inbox me or just set in the groups, then we can be able to share that with you as well. But for the most part, you must be able to think about investing. And let me explain this. So when The Richest Man in Babylon, let me just share something from that. When it says you must pay yourself first, and I've taken up that principle. From anything you make, always have something you pay yourself. Remember, you're talking about your personal wealth plan. But investing, you will never become great than the investment you make. If you make bigger investments in life, you will have bigger returns. One of the things I've encountered, because I negotiate with people, and even when we're setting up Make Life, we have a board of directors that has got 7 sitting, excuse me, 7 sitting directors in Make Life International. We were negotiating, but one of the things they kept asking me is, what's our ROI? And those of you who've done economics or done business know ROI means return on investment. People always want to know, what's the return on our investment? Now, normally your return on investment goes in hand with the investment level. If you invest less, you have a lower return on investment. If you take a risk higher, you have a higher return on investment. And for you to really attain financial freedom, you must know that investing is very important. There's what they call the cash flow quadrant, and some of you have encountered that. And I don't want to talk about it tonight, really, but it talks about the 4 particular types of people that are there: employees, self-employed, business people, and investors. And we must all aspire to reach a place of investment. But this is the mindset I want to inculcate. Begin to invest more. And I hope to share more about this in the future session so that I can just key in on investing. Many of us need to learn investment, but that's not what I'm going to focus on today. I want to work with the mindset, step at a time, right? The third thing is getting a job versus creating jobs. We've been told to get a job, but I want to challenge you tonight that you must create a job. I once put up a quote to say that there are opportunities you look for and will find you. But then I said it's the opportunities that you create for people that will truly define you. In life, you must begin to make and create opportunities for others. Your truest form of, and let me put it in the right way, your truest form of fulfillment comes from how much of a blessing you are to other people. If you can create more people's opportunities, it's a great thing. You see, I'm talking about getting a job versus creating a job. There are other people that may need a job for a season. And for me in Make Life, I'm always telling every person that works with us, I need you to have a plan for your life. And many of you that have worked with me, and those of you on the managers team, you've heard me tell you to say, we are interested in growing your entrepreneurship mindset, because we believe you can work for a while, but you must have a mindset for you. Have a mindset to build and create opportunities, create jobs. You must do that. I'm happy tonight to say I have paid people before, many more times than once. And it's very important for you to create opportunities. I know that from my investment, I've been able to make payments. And very soon we're looking at a time where we're going to be doing that more often with some of the things we have on ground. But why are we doing that? We want to ensure that people are growing. We are adding to our economy. Do you know that economic growth is closely linked to the number of people that are buying and selling? How many products are being produced? And if you have to transform your community, you must be thinking job creation. And the fourth thing is value for time versus value for transformation. Let me really spend time on this. And for the most part, I can end at this. And if anything, I believe I just set it at that. Value for time versus value for transformation. Okay? Now, what do I mean value for time? Value for time is this. We've been taught that we must be paid for our time. That's why we go to work and we work 8 hours jobs. And at the end of the month, we get paid. Why? Because we've been taught to attach value to the time. People say time is money, which I won't argue with. But let me bring in a perspective that it goes wrong. Remember, I want to demystify the wrong stuff and putting the right mindsets. If you are going to be valued based on your time, you're never going to reach a place of true financial freedom. And let me explain this, okay? What I mean by this is that if you are a doctor, a lawyer, and people are going to pay you to say 30, maybe they'll pay you $5,000 per time. Remember when I was working for Vodafone in 2016, when I started, 2017, I remember initially in 2016, I was being paid 50 kwacha for 5 hours of my time. You know, it was 50 kwacha for 5 hours of my time. So I was worth 10 kwacha per hour. And when I worked there, they noticed I was doing a lot of stuff. They gave me another opportunity, another role. I started working in customer care, and I was also working for Jump Platform. I was a writer there. And after some time, they made me an editor, and my valuation changed from 10 kwacha per hour. It moved to a place where it was about 25 kwacha per hour. And that was me being paid based on my time. But then I decided to move on and get to Make Live. And let me show you to you what happened in the first month when I retired from Vodafone and started working for Make Life at the time. But then we called it ML Consulting and Coaching, which was Mapalo Lukashi Consulting and Coaching, because we made a shift now. That's what we've been doing. But in the first month of Make Life or ML Consulting, I managed to secure a deal that got me increased close to 100 times in valuation. 100 times, and I'm not lying, because with one client, I only had to be present 5 hours in a month, and I was going to get, and I'm going to share this with you, 35,000 kwacha. Now, if you do the math, 5 present hours within a month divided by 35, that's a valuation of 7,000 kwacha. But that was me still being valued. But let me tell you, I wasn't being valued anymore based on my time. It may look that way if you try to calculate in that way, but why there's such a big margin change? I was being valued based on my ability to transform. And that's what I want you to know. You must be valued for your ability to transform lives. What made me get that deal is that I told them this. What would you pay me if I made you make 10 times more than you're making today? If you're going to help someone make $1 million, how much do they think they should pay you? All of a sudden, paying you 100,000 kwacha doesn't seem a lot. All of a sudden, paying you 200,000 kwacha does not seem a lot. So if you're going to pay for your time, people will always find a way to pay you less. If you're going to charge for your ability to transform them, they are going to pay you more. This is a mindset change I want you to have tonight. Please don't be the people that will hear something and do not go apply it. You must have a mindset shift. Get paid to transform, not for your time. There's a difference, because when you convert your transformed value into time, the gap is insurmountable. I hope that has stuck into someone's mind. Let me just make quick progress to the last thing so that I can move to the second part, because I see we're already 30 minutes past our time. And let me just make sure it's clear. So wanting money versus the reason for money. Okay, this is another mindset shift that must take place with you. There's a difference in wanting money, and there's a difference in having reasons to have money. Jim Rohn, one of the people that has really spoken into this area, and I appreciate him for the value. Remember, there's a lot of things that do not have to be redefined. These have been working for a time. He was asked by his mentor to say this, that, Jim, why aren't you rich? And he answered to say, well, I'm not rich because probably I'm not working enough and I'm not being paid enough for the work I do. And his mentor stopped him and told him this: no, you are not rich because you do not have enough reason to become rich. I'll tell you that again. His mentor told him, say, you are not rich because you've not given yourself enough reason to become rich. And it made me think for a while when I also heard that. He was telling you that if you give yourself enough reasons to make the money, you have the money. The problem is that we want money before we know what we use the money for. If I gave you tonight $100 million or even just $1 million, do you know what you're going to do with it? Let me ask you that question. If I gave you $1 million tonight, if I had $1 million and I gave it to you tonight, would you know what you're going to do with it right away? If you do not know what to do with $1 million, perhaps that's why you don't have $1 million coming to your life. You must always have enough things. I have a book, my digital journal. I have over 71 ideas that I have written down to date. And I'm not saying this to brag again. I'm saying this to communicate a mindset. If you gave me money tonight, I have got over 71 projects that I'm willing to be able to put that money into. And because of that reason, or those reasons, I am more liable to actually have money which is currency flow my direction. Some other reasons to have money is the ability to want to be a family person. For me, one of the reasons I work hard, and one of the reasons why I have been doing what I've been doing, I don't want to be the father that's never home. I don't want to be the person that never has time for my family as I go forward in future. It's my reason. I have a reason. I want to be that person that can decide to say, this week it's family, let's go do this, let's get this. I want to be able to say, I want to focus on, if the child's name is Jim Toe, I don't know if it's a Zambian name. I want to say, I want to focus on helping him be able to transition from pre-grade to the next grade, because I want that for the future. So I have enough reason to work hard. I have enough reason to spend sleepless nights to push in the work. So give yourself enough reason if you truly want financial freedom. Don't just want money for the sake of it. Always give yourself the reason. So I'll ask you this question. If you're writing down, ask yourself, why do I actually want this money? What's the reason for me wanting it? Don't just say, I want to be a billionaire. No, it sounds nice, yes. We've all said that. Some of us here don't even want to think, we want to behave like we don't want money. But don't just say, I want to be a billionaire. Ask yourself, why should I be? Do you want to be able to pour into lives out into the world? That's something that's also called at my heart. So give yourself enough reasons. I'm tired of seeing people that I can't help. I'm grateful that today there are people that can call me and I'm able to help them. Because to some degree, I have made progress on my journey towards personal wealth. And I feel good about being able to do that, and I'm still stretching because I know I'm not yet there. I want to be able to help people that have got bigger needs. And that's something that Make Life is looking into. We soon want to start funding young businesses. And that's something we're pushing. And we believe we're getting there because we want to be able to bless entrepreneurs. And hopefully we get that settled sooner than later. And I hope I've communicated the volume. Let me go to the next thing that you've been waiting for. And if you're a business person, you're asking yourself this question. What are the stages for moving from a startup to maturity? How do you move from your startup to a mature position? I want to move through this so that we can still beat the time. And let me share with you this. I hope you're learning and picking notes. The first stage is your business as an idea. This is the first stage, okay? This is where your business is a thought, it's an idea. It's just something that you've thought about. When we were in 2014, that's when I had an idea about Make Life, but I didn't start it then. It was just an idea in my mind. But in 2018, that was 2017 going towards 2018, because I left Vodafone in 2018, month end of January. And that time, my idea was great. I was passionate about this idea of becoming a management consultant. Now, there are two things I'll share: focus and resource. My focus, or your focus when your business is at the stage of an idea, is you should be planning for your business. Okay, that's your focus. In stage one, you must be planning. So if you have an idea for your business, the next thing for you is you need to plan for it. I am a certified trainer for the International Labour Organization, and one of the programs that we teach is GYB. GYB is generating your business idea. So we help you with generating your business idea. We could run you through a course of assessments, and your mindset gets opened up. But when you get the idea, the next thing we teach you is SYB. SYB is start your business. And very soon I'll be hosting an SYB class, and I'm going to be able to bring it out into the platforms, and you'll be able to learn from it. But when you are having an idea, the next thing you should think about is a plan. So if your business is at an idea stage, you must be saying, how do I plan for my business? And the resource that you have is passion. Please be passionate for your idea. It will get you through stage one. I was so hot with passion when I had the Make Live idea. By then it wasn't even Make Live. It was just a management consultancy firm. Didn't even have a name, had no logo. But I was passionate about being a blessing. I was passionate about solving problems, building project proposals. And that passion was the fire I needed. It was the resource I needed to help me start planning. I went on the internet, and these are two things you must know about this. Well, these are just a few things about this stage. Research. So I started researching. Okay, you need to start researching. If your business is at idea stage, if you come for SYB, we're going to teach you market research. We're going to teach you how to do that. So you need to talk about researching. So go online, begin to research about your idea. Knowledge is important. I write in Idea Capital Development, knowledge is the advantage bringer. It takes you on a hilltop. If you are knowledgeable, you are at an advantage than those that don't know what you know. And let me tell you this, I want to congratulate you for being part of this session. Trust me, the knowledge I believe you're getting from this is already putting you at an advantage. You are not going to be the same as you came out, as you came into this meeting if you learn anything new. And I hope there's something new that you're learning. And the next thing is you must think of a data-driven idea. So if your idea is there, it's very interested, you can have an idea and you're very excited about it, but have you looked at the data around you? Have you studied the market? And today, many investors are trying to ask us that question. Is your idea data-driven? Have you proved whether there's anything backing this? Okay, and that's something that you must be able to ask yourself. So go out there and begin to research. When I was doing a proposal for one of the pitches that we had to run, we went ahead and we looked through PricewaterhouseCoopers reports. We looked at the Bank of Zambia reports, because we're working on financial stuff right now. And we got data because that particular product of Make Life was in an idea stage. We always do this on all our products, because normally your business starts as a product, then you have to transition it into a business. So you need to research about it. Then if you've ever come across the concept of data science, it's very important in this tech world. So data science is a combination of statistics and programming. So pretty much statistics is where you look at a lot of variables, a lot of conditions, and then you're able to validate your hypothesis about anything. And this is something that you must consider. Just write data science, go research it. I don't have the whole night to really explain deep on that, but I thought it's something you must know. And my story for this is that like I told you, had my idea. I started researching on management consultancy. I went and joined a management consultancy firm, which I still happen to work part-time on, okay? And it helped me begin to grow my knowledge in the field. And I didn't go to work like a spy. I even told the CEO that to say, look, I have come to learn. I have come to learn, okay? And you should be that person. So be invested in research. Make sure that you invest in your idea. Let me move on to the next stage. your business as a minimal viable product. Your business as a minimal viable product. That's stage 2. So some of you may be in stage 2, and the focus of stage 2 is getting your first client. So if right now what you have is an idea, but you've never sold anything, suppose you're still in stage 1. And for you to get to stage 2, you must be thinking about getting your minimal viable product. Your minimum viable product, this is the base level to which your product can be sold. It doesn't have to be the full version. When I got that client that was paying me 35,000 kwacha, that was my first client, and that's our story as ML Consulting and Coaching. It was our first client, and I share that story because it validated my idea. And before then, it was an idea, and I say that there's a quote I put up to say, when your product goes to market, your hobby becomes a business. So if you're in stage 1 and you stay in stage 1, you're just in a hobby. If you need to have your hobby become a business, get your first client, sell to at least one person. That should be your focus. If you've been in stage 1, let me challenge you tonight. Are you going to sell by next week? Or let's give you up to the end of June. Sell to your first client. Don't stay seated. Go make a sale. The second thing is the resource part. In stage 2, what you have working for you. In stage 1, you have your passion. But what you have working for you for your minimum viable product is adaptability, your curiosity, and your teachability. When I went out into the market, Make Life or ML Consulting wasn't fully defined. We didn't really know how to do things that well. But we went out there, and based on customer feedback, we were able to improve. Some of the things we were able to deliver on for our first clients. Some we didn't. Honest story, we were not perfect. And people say done is better than perfect. So quit waiting to become too perfect to go make your first sale. Go and make your first sale. Move to stage 2 from tonight. Plan it. If you've been thinking about anything, whether it's wigs, whether it's digital, whether it's IT, make your first sale. Get your first client. It's very key. And learn from the experience. Remember, what you have is adaptability. Begin to improve. If you look at ML Consulting, because that's what we were back in the days, today is now Make Life, which is true ML though. We weren't as we were tonight. Today we've got a board of directors, we've got a management team, an exec team managing it. We've got products that are coming in the pipeline and products that we've revised and are taken back into the market. It's because we've been adapting. We've learned that we go out there, we are curious, we are teachable, we learn our market. And that's what you should have going. Let me just share something quick about this. For you to be adaptable in your second stage, what you should be thinking about is what they call product market fit. And in product market fit, there are 3 things you should know. Your product solution fit, your product pricing fit, and your product user fit. These 3 things make up a product market fit. For your product to be suitable for the market, you must score in these 3 things. Product solution fit is simply this, and let me try to simplify it as much as I can. It's your product should meet a solution, should be a solution it should be a solution for your market. The problem is that we want to create the product, then go and meet the solution. But the way it should be, sometimes we must see the problem, then we must now meet the problem. So your mindset for your first client is go and understand. In some sessions I've done before, I've talked about knowing your ideal customer, your persona. A targeted and precise market is better than you generally hitting a market. So you need to understand what problem you're fitting. Who exactly is your customer? Don't just say everybody. If tonight your business says everybody, it means you still got a thing to work on in stage 2. Your customer can just be a certain age range, a certain status, married, unmarried, married. There's a client who contacted me about the book he wrote about relationships. And I sat him down and ran him through some of these things. And we were able to help him around his messaging, around his clientele, and I helped him with some templates. And today he's always calling me and he's appreciating me for the stuff that he's doing because he's now getting in the returns. So your solution fit. Don't just create a product. No, it's a solution. Your product price and fit. It's always nice for you to be able to evaluate whether your price will fit your customers. Sometimes you can actually put up a customer advisory board. This is why you have got a few people to help you test your products. When I worked for Vodafone, there was what we had as a friendly user trial, what we call the FUT. And I was part of that friendly user trial. And what happened is that we tested the modems before they were out in the market. we're able to give a feedback. We're able to give feedback on how much it should be priced. Sometimes you must just find out even from 5 people, how much would you buy this for? Use it for a while and get that feedback. Product user fit. This is the experience your client has with your product. So this weekend, we've been working on one of our applications, and I've been working with the IT person from MakeLive. His name is Joshua Kosam. And one of the things we're designing on the website is how simple it is. We want the user to go on our website and immediately know what to do. We are removing all the things that are not necessary. We don't want our user to be lost. When you come there, it's just simply either A or B option. We're trying to clear out all the noise. Why? It's because we want the user experience to be as smooth as possible. And why I'm making him do this is because next week, we are taking it to people to be able to review it. We are getting actual users. We're not telling them how to use it. We're putting them on the platform and telling them to say, interact with this. And what they will experience will tell us. Because do you know how many times, have you ever tried logging into an app and it's loading for a long time and you just get frustrated? Or you're ever using an application and you're trying to sign up and it keeps on failing? What happens? You either delete that app, right? It's the same thing. If people have your product and they're experiencing your product and it's not improving them, they are getting frustrated, they'll stop buying. If you go buy a bread from ShopRite and maybe that day you find that the bread is dry, because of your user experience, you won't go buy from ShopRite again. Why? It's because you have been disappointed. So you must always think about how your user will feel. I was going to share a Make Life story around product market fit. And this is something that we've been undertaking. I've already shared a bit on what we're doing right now with the product that we have coming up. So it's a website and we are keying things. We have got it tailored with other platforms, but we are zeroing it such that it's an easy to read thing. But let me move on because time won't allow me to, though I noticed that we have 10 more minutes and I'll have to keep time. Stage 3, your business as a dependent entity. Some of you may be at stage 3. Now, in stage 3, your focus should be establishing business foundation. Okay, that should be your focus. After you've got your first client, after you've seen that your product actually has a market, you must now be looking to establish your business. And your resource is you, the business founder. In the early stages of your business, you must work for your business. Make Life started as Mapalo Lukashi Consulting and Coaching. I ran everything from planning the events to writing the books to calling the speakers to negotiating. I mean, you couldn't separate Make Life Mapalo Lukashi Consultancy from Mapalo Lukashi. Like, I'm the business. And that's how it is in stage 3. You can be everything. You'll be the graphics guy, you'll be the IT guy, you'll be the PR guy, you'll be everyone. And it's quite normal because you're trying to establish a foundation. And that's where stage 3 is at. Let me share something about stage 3. In this particular, and I won't actually share the next slide. I just thought I could share it just in bulk. In you being able to build your foundation, you must begin to build the brand. That should be your focus. Start getting the brand awareness out there. When Facebook did this, they wanted a hyperactive thing. They started just spreading it out. They started spreading it out, and they were working tirelessly every day. Mark and his friends that started it, we are working tirelessly. Some of you have watched the movie, the social media movie, and some movie that you would love to watch. When I just pick in some mindsets, it was them investing in the early hours of their business. And some of us were at that stage right now. You can't go on a holiday, and that's what we're trying to work so that you now reach a point where you can leave your business and it survives. If you can't leave your business and it dies if you leave it, that means your business is not yet there. And that's what we're looking to grow in. So that's what stage 3 is about. Let me move on to stage 4. Stage 4, when you adjust from that point, stage 4 is your business as a partially independent entity. That's stage 4, a partially independent entity. And like I said, Make Life, we are here tonight. This is where we are. It's partially independent. And I've got glimpses of the full freedom that I want. And I know I'm going to get there. Why? Because this is a working formula. And so far, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4 are working. I definitely know stage 5 is a goal, and I can't wait for me to share stage 5 with you. But let me share a bit on stage 4. Your focus on stage 4 is this: building a business that is independent from the owner. Throughout, I've just been asking myself this question. If Mapalo wasn't there, will Make Life exist? If Mapalo was to go out for 1 month, will Make Life remain standing? That's the question you should be asking yourself. So if you run Emmanuel Foods and Services, you ask yourself this one question. If you can leave your business and it will not survive, then your business is a stage 4 business. And you do not have financial freedom at that point. You do not yet have the freedom you desire at that point. You really want to get into freedom at its full extent. So you should be thinking, how do I build a business that is independent from me? And let me share with you 4 things that you should begin to put in place. And I can proudly say today, we have put these things in place. And now it's just consistently building on them. The first thing is systems. That's your resource in this stage. Second thing are teams. The third thing is technology. And the fourth thing is outsourcing. I'll say that again. Systems, teams, technology, and outsourcing. Let's look at them a bit from this part. So becoming independent. Systems. What are systems? This is simply input and output. So when this happens, what happens next? So you must set systems for your company. So for me, I've put in systems. I know that when someone comes to this particular link, it will take them to this particular page that will sign them up in this software. And I know that when this problem occurs, I know which member of the team must attend to it. I was talking to the board of directors and we meet quarterly. And I was telling them exactly what we'll be discussing in the meetings. What are the responsibilities? What are their roles? How they should respond in a crisis. So if Make Life hit a crisis, we've got protocols around how we'll go about that. We know it's a board of directors that will assemble. Whether they were meeting elsewhere, everyone, Mutale Kapaso, Pastor Jonathan Imakando, Bethis Kapaso, Mr. Alex Zulu, and Janet Zulu, they will all come to a place and we will meet, because those are standard system protocols. Why we are building systems. So the more you build systems that work, the more easier, and the thing becomes you communicating the systems to the people around you, which leads me to the next thing, which are the teams. So if people know what they should do when things happen, this is where constitutions become important. This is the document stage of your business. I've been doing a lot of write-ups in the past months, roadmaps on sales, roadmaps on onboarding people into Make Life. All those things have to be systematic. I'm actually working on an onboarding process I want to be able to offer to people out there so that those who are struggling to onboard people can work with it. But it's systems. Think systems if you're to become independent. The next thing is think teams. It says if you want to go far, go alone. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with people. There's a time in the business to go alone, and we've talked about them: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. You can go alone so that you go fast and to the point where you can pass on the baton. But when the time to pass on the baton comes, the next important thing is actually going far. Today, Make Life has a bigger valuation because of the people that are part of it, the people that are investing in it. If you are to share our shares today, they have got more value. Why? It's because we have built the team around it. And you should think teams. You must have teams for every level. And one of the things about teams, and this is doing to people that work with us, for me, I have a plan for every team member to grow, because your team must always be growing. And it's my purpose and my goal that people should move. If they start with us at any level, they must move to the next level, and they must eventually be able to even outgrow the company. I would be happy if I see some of the team members of Make Life starting their own businesses to another level. That's us. That's our system. That's our atmosphere. The fourth thing is technology. I've really talked about this in many of the sessions I've had with the entrepreneurs. Make sure you join us in some of those and come back and also join us for the ICT entrepreneurs, which we're launching today, and we are doing it right now. Congrats again for being part of this launch. And technology is very important. We're living in a globalized world. Globalization means we are all interconnected. You can only scale as far as how far you can actually reach. If you're to have serious revenues, you must think numbers. And Zambia only has got 13 to 40 million people. If you are focusing your entire business model around the Zambian market, and remember, not all 14 million people are your market. Some are just the total addressable market. But there's also already a served market. There are already people who are serving those customers. So meaning your target market may only be 2 million or less. Now, you're not going to raise some of the monies for your business if you're only focusing on less than 2 million. So you must think of how can I use technology to reach the world. The reason why I bought and worked on some of the games and designed them is because I am testing the international markets. I had someone from the Philippines downloading my game and playing it, and they posted on our site, Bevla Games. We are reaching the world. When I do Facebook targeting now, I don't just do Zambia. When you go to my official public page, I've got people from Nigeria, from Ukraine, from different spaces, because I'm tapping into an international market. I have a long-term plan. Think technology, think how you can scale. So there's technology that already exists, then there's technology you can create. Because of time, let me quickly go to the last thing, outsourcing. Sometimes you can work with freelancers, work with other people, work with other, there's what called leveraging other people's time. It's very important for you at certain stages to create opportunities for others and outsource some of the things. In yesterday's session that I had with entrepreneurs, I talked about drop servicing. And that's something we are building and we have set in our systems. So think that way. Let me go to the last thing and we conclude tonight's session. Your business as a fully independent entity. And I won't even spend much time. This is the promised land. This is the goal. Your focus here is the next big thing. At this level, it means the things you've done in stage 4 are now fully working. And when all those things are in place, you can leave your business, go to Hawaii. I don't know. Some of this just type, where would you go if you wanted to go on a vacation? Let me see it in the chat box. Hawaii, Dubai. Let me start seeing something. Where would you want to go? What's your goal for financial freedom? Let me see some texting. Is it Ukraine? Is it the USA? Where's your destination, your dream destination? France, Paris. I'm not seeing people post Paris. Thank you, Audrey. Great. Let me see more. I want to see more because we've come to the end. What's your dream vacation? If you had to go on a vac today, let's see. Have I seen China? Please, let's post. Let's post. We are not sharing. Oregon. Wow. And see the largest organism. I don't know how to pronounce that, but sounds great. I have more than one. Okay, great, Tasha. Let's hear many dream destinations. Definitely England. Okay, someone says the largest organism. Nice, Hendrix. Great. Wow. Okay, are we seeing more? Singapore from Mark. Awesome. Israel from Emmanuel. Great. Guys, you have great destinations. That should be your goal. And guess what? You don't have to go there for 1 weekend and be rushing because you have to be in the office again. You must be able to go there and stay because you can stay. That should be your goal. And that brings us to that. Your resource at this level, it's when you can go to the USA, go to England, and begin to think about the next big thing. That's what you should do. Yesterday, someone asked a question in the entrepreneurs group to say that, what if I want to have a conglomerate? That's the time to think of a conglomerate. Because now that one of your products or one of your companies is doing fine, you have the space, the freedom to think and be exposed. And you must love thinking. And that's the point you can actually then go ahead and begin to do even much more. This brings me to the end of our session. And I'll be able to take, this is 21:30 exactly on the dot, and I'm done. I wish we would have been done in 5 minutes, but I thought I could leave out some things. I'm going to take time to do 1 or 2 questions, if there are any. 1 or 2 questions, if there are any. Are there any people who have got questions? I'm taking questions now. You can just unmute yourself and ask a question. Anyone? Anyone? 1 question tonight. If you don't have a question for me, then what we can do is, let me share with you a link in the chat box right now. If you want to be involved in me sharing with you a lot of free helpful things, and let me just say, I'm going to be sharing with you free templates at times if you join this group. Let me put it in the chat. It's a WhatsApp group, and I'll be sharing with you free stuff so that it won't be hard for your systems. And just remind me if I forget. This is a free offer. I didn't think about it until now, but I've told myself, why not? I want you to be financial free. You are the first people. As long as I stand, if you join in today, I'm going to take note of your names, and all of you are going to be getting some free stuff over the time, because we're going to do what is known as in business. We're going to granddaddy you into the Idea Capital Development Program. This may mean that you may actually attend some meetings, some conferences for free. We will think about you, the ones who came tonight. So I've posted the links. Great to see Benjamin has already joined. Granddaddy number one. Great. You know, I see Tasha is now in. Okay. I see again Tasha is also in. Another Tasha, the two Tashas in the program. So let's see. Audrey is in. Great, guys. Let's keep coming in. I'm gonna granddaddy you into our systems and get a hi. Thank you so much, Tasha. Good evening. Thank you for the ad from Abasi. Great. So we're going to start growing together, and go ahead and share the news with someone. We'll be back next week, 20:30 to 21 hours, and we have an amazing chat for you as well. So thank you for those of you who've joined us. I hope everyone has had the time to join the link, so that I can be able to close this meeting for tonight. Um, I'll give you about just one more minute. But thank you again for coming. It's great to see people from the ICD team. Great job, guys. We will be doing this again next week. We're going to take it on a different scale. If there's any question yet, let me just check. Tasha says thank you so much. Grateful to have you, Tasha, as well. It's quite the pleasure. Awesome. Okay. So thank you again. So I believe everyone has had the time to join the group. Welcome to being granddaddy. I'm Mapalo Lukashi. Feel free to get in touch with me. I'll share my number in the WhatsApp group, and I'll be able to share with you our Make Live website as we're putting it up back again, and you can be able to go ahead and interact with it and learn a lot. Plus, I will be sharing with you some great stuff. Have a good night, everyone. See you next week.